Hey, ladies and gents, happy late Father's Day because I'm shooting this on June 16th. The most important day of the year, as a lot of you, or some of you may know, most important day of the year is June 16th. Not just because it's Tupac's birthday, more of a Biggie guy myself, but it's because it's my birthday. Turned 31 today. Um, and I was gonna shoot this yesterday, but I had some Father's Day things going on, and they turned it into they kept trying to get me to go. And then it turns out it was a secret surprise birthday party for me as well. So pretty cool move by my family. I didn't see it coming, so should have known better. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about UFC Atlanta Fight Night. We're not in the apex. Could the UFC turn this Fight Night around? No, it wasn't very good. Um, but we're here to talk about it. So enough, and let's get to the fights. Main event: Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Snorefest. Not and there's nothing wrong with that. Kamaru Usman just took Buckley down and laid on top of him. Which all I could think of during this fight is how bad is Colby Covington? Colby Covington couldn't do this, and Kamaru Usman made it look like it was super easy. And the wrestling of those two guys countered, took each other out. And the matchups make fights. It just kind of is what it is. But like Buckley, you feel like Buckley would have struggled against if Buckley did so well against Covington. How do you not just do this against Usman? But hey, it's neither here nor there. Buckley did have a good late surge, I think, in round five as Usman was coasting. And it's pretty funny to me that even without the title, um, Usman is still like, yeah, I'm going back to being boring because he was very boring. Then he became the champion, and he had good fights, some good fights at least. So he had some stinkers. At first Masvidal, I think, is the only one really, actually, but still not a great fight. And then it's like not a title fight. Not, I'm gonna put on another stinker. And then he called for a title shot, which is just ridiculous. He's absolutely not in line for a title shot when Shavkat's running around and Ian Gary I have over him as well at this point. But Buckley, he had a lot of heart. He just couldn't stop the takedowns, and he couldn't. And that means if you can't stop the takedown against a guy who wants to smother you, definitely gonna be on the losing end of that decision. At least you should be. And so at 49-46, it seems like across the board from what I remember. I had a similar. I think I scored it the same way. Yeah, 4 rounds to one. Yeah, 49-46. So what's next for both guys? I think Ian Gary probably fights Usman, and I got a wild one for you. What about Buckley and Carlos Prates? They're just sounds kind of wild. Co-main event: Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Rose looked fantastic in this fight. I thought she won all 3 rounds, even dropping Maverick late and going for the finish. Couldn't quite get it, but still a really good performance. Edmund Shabazian looked pretty good on this card, but and he won. He beat Andre Petrovsky, who I believe is the guy who knocked himself out on Jacob Malhoun's hip, which is really funny. But the big one I want to talk about is I think a lot of people's like talking points are going to be for this next fight, which is Harney Barcelos versus Cody Garbrandt. You might remember Harney Barcelos because he was the guy that they gave a ranking to when he signed the fight Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley fans were like, "No, this guy's really good," and uh, and Sean O'Malley knocked him out in a round, and then like Sean O'Malley fans will tell you this guy's still the man. But he's not like I've never been impressed with his UFC tenure. He's not the like he's pretty content with him being in the upper unranked, if that makes sense. And he fought Cody Garbrandt, and after losing the first round, he got dropped. Garbrandt kind of taunted him, which is very fun, kind of bringing some old Garbrandt back. And I'm like, okay, maybe Cody Garbrandt's back with his new look. Because as cringy as he used to be, I'm not going to pretend like him getting, and I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't rooting for him to get knocked out by TJ in those fights and Pedro Munoz in those fights. But looking back on it now, with the EPO allegations, and how hard his fall from grace was, it's really hard not to root for the guy. I think he's wrong in the whole Garbrandt, or I think he's on the wrong side in this Team Alpha Male Dwayne Ludwig argument that he was a part of. I think he's on the wrong side, and I don't think he has the best fight IQ, and that probably translates to the press conferences sometimes. He's not the best talker, we'll say. But it's really, like I said, it's really hard not to root for the guy. I want him to succeed because at one point he was just one of the best performances ever. It's really hard for me to not be behind him, and I felt really bad for him because he made no adjustments to Barcelo's adjustments. Barcelo's made some adjustments, and it really helped him take over the second round and third round for the win here, 29-28, I believe it was. And Cody Garbrandt never really uh, made that adjustment back to get that going. So it really sucks. It is what it is, but it it was rough. Yeah. But what about the rest of the card? So Mansour Malik Abdul Malik beat Cody Brundage by technical decision. Alonzo Minifield had to beat Omar Sy by unanimous decision. That was pretty good. That wasn't I was thinking that was the comeback, and it wasn't. That fight he was just kind of winning. But the Mansour Abdul Malik, it was a technical decision because of an accidental headbutt with like 30 seconds left in the fight. Rodolfo Bellato and Paul Craig is a hilarious one. So Bellato's on top, trying to get the ground going, and he's grounded. Paul Craig throws some kicks to try to push off and kick up. Lands an illegal up kick, and it felt really accidental, I think. And Bellato is like, ref, he kicked me illegally. Oh, and like he's literally taunting, or he's literally telling the ref what happened as he's like almost dramatically, oh, fainting. I've heard the argument. It might have been a real knockout. It might be kind of similar to like the Shane Burgos, Edson Barboza knockout, but I'm not buying it. It seemed very. I've been watching a lot of Ted Lasso lately, and the flopping is very football-esque. I felt like in that. Football is life, is what I say to that. If you know, you know. Danny Rojas. Michael Chiesa beat Court McGee by unanimous decision. Michael Chiesa I still really like. Court McGee, I was a big fan of his back in the day when he won tough. It's awesome to see him still around. Probably time to wrap it up and call it a career. Uh, Malcolm Wellmaker, what a fraudulent name. You know what I mean? Like, because he's not making any of those guys any better. He's just knocking them out. I think I saw that. I don't think I could take credit for that joke. But he knocked out Chris Matinho, another guy that Sean O'Malley fans were like, this guy, no, he's actually really good. Uh, And if you don't believe me, I was in a group chat with a lot of people in I was in a group chat with a lot of MMA people on Twitter, and that was a real comment I saw. That in the Barcelos one. A lot of people were on the Barcelos. I won't name names, but yeah, the Wellmaker KO was crazy. Just clobbered faceplant. Wild. Jose Ochoa got a knockout over Cody Durden in the second round. That was awesome. Ricky Simone and Cameron Smotherman. The irony on that, Ricky Simone had a very smothering performance, but I like Ricky Simone, and the action in his fights, even if he is really controlling and not much of a finisher, is always very interesting. Phil Rowe got a really good comeback against Angie Lusa in the third round. That was pretty crazy, honestly. Really good comeback. And Jamie Lynn Horth beat my gal. She's in my gal stable, Vanessa Demopoulos, who everyone was thirsting over her doing the splits at the weigh-ins, which is hilarious to me. That is it for me. There was something else I was supposed to bring up, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Um, there was something else fight related. Oh well. Strip John Jones. That's what I'll end this on. I'm gonna end it with a. Oh, wait, I remember what it was. For me, I wanted to say, for me, happy late Father's Day to all our fans who are fathers, and happy and all the fathers in MMA history. Happy Father's Day. And if I didn't do this for Mother's Day, I'm, retroactively saying I did, and don't look it up. Be for all the mothers in MMA. So shout out to Alex Pajeda for being a father to Israel Adesanya. That's not a good joke. I saw that meme when I was waiting for my haircut today, so I was like, oh, that's kind of a funny one. But no, but in all, no jokes, very much so. What's it called? Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. If you're stepdadding, they're not your biological kids. You're still a dad in my book. So happy Father's Day to you too. Um, Thanks again for watching us, and thanks so much for being fans of us. Thanks for your patience with everything. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching.